Hello friends, I'm Dustin Davis and welcome to the channel. Here you'll find everything you need to know about the Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs find themselves navigating a period that feels both familiar and uncertain. Success remains the standard, but the path forward no longer looks as straightforward as it once did. The franchise has reached a point where key decisions about personnel, finances, and long-term structure carry as much weight as anything that happens on the field. Injuries, suspensions, and contract realities all collide with the need to maintain a championship standard. These factors have sharpened the spotlight on every move, every rumor, and every possible adjustment the front office might consider. The Chiefs are not standing still. Let's check out everything that's happening in Kansas City. First, friends, can I ask for a small favor? If you're liking what we do, click the like button to show your support. It truly means a lot. Thanks again. For more than a decade, the Kansas City Chiefs offense has been shaped around Travis Kelce. He's been the central pulse of Andy Reid's passing scheme and Patrick Mahomes' most dependable weapon. Yet, Kelce is 35, and although his production hasn't cratered, the unavoidable reality remains the Chiefs must seriously plan for a post-Kelce era for Mahomes and the offense. There's a personal dimension as well. Kelce's engagement to pop megastar Taylor Swift has kept him in the spotlight almost as often as his on-field exploits, and it's reasonable to ask how that public life might affect his future plans. With those considerations in mind, Samuel Tietz of Chiefs Wire offered a compelling name as a potential successor. T.E. Kenyon Sadiq pitched as Travis Kelce replacement for the Chiefs. When Kelce decides to retire, the Chiefs need to have his successor in place. The 2026 NFL Draft lacks elite talent at tight end, except for projected top 100 picks Max Clare and Kenyon Sadiq. Tietz won on September 8th, adding, "Sadiq is one of the top athletes in the 2026 draft. He appeared at number 11 on Bruce Feldman's annual Freaks list for The Athletic, which highlights the most athletic players in college football. Sadiq pairs the size of a tight end with the movement skills and burst of a wide receiver, making him one of the top mismatch creators in the sport." Sadiq's path at Oregon has been one of steady progression, the kind of arc teams like to see. The Ducks used him sparingly as a freshman, 5 catches for 24 yards, but he made those plays count, scoring a touchdown in the Fiesta Bowl. In 2024, his role expanded significantly. His snap total eclipsed 600, and he closed the season with 24 catches for 308 yards and 2 touchdowns, both on the biggest stage in the Big Ten championship game. Listed at 6'3" and 245 pounds, Sadiq has consistently demonstrated the ability to stretch seams and win matchups against safeties. Early in his 2025 campaign, he's already produced 3 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown in September alone. What's most notable is how Oregon deploys him. Inline, from the slot, split wide, and even on jet sweeps, showing a modern tight end's versatility. His athleticism is impossible to ignore. Frankly, nobody will stroll into Kansas City and become the next Travis Kelce. That exact player doesn't exist. What Andy Reid and Mahomes need is someone who keeps the playbook expansive, and Sadiq's receiver-turned-tight end profile makes him an intuitive fit. One advantage of targeting a player like Sadiq is timing. Kansas City wouldn't be forced to throw him into Kelce's role immediately. They could run plenty of 12 personnel sets, deploy him in red zone packages, and let him learn alongside Kelce for a season or two, smoothing the transition at a position that's been central to their dynasty. There's also a financial upside. A rookie tight end contract would buy the Chiefs cap flexibility to address other needs. Kelce's excellence won't be replicated soon, but Sadiq could become the type of dependable safety valve Mahomes leans on when Kelce eventually steps away. The Oregon tight end may not be a household name yet, but he's someone Kansas City should be monitoring closely. While tight end succession planning is one concern, wide receiver depth is another, and that's where a familiar name has resurfaced in rumors. After a choppy Week 1, the idea of Tyreek Hill returning to Kansas City Chiefs has shifted from speculation towards a plausible storyline. The Chiefs are thin at wide receiver, and the Miami Dolphins stumbled badly out of the gate, dropping a 33-8 decision to the Indianapolis Colts. Given the problems both clubs face, a reunion doesn't feel as far-fetched, at least according to one NFL insider. Although Hill is signed through 2026, he's due to make $36 million next year with a cap number of $51.89 million. It's highly unlikely he'll be back after 2025. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio wrote on September 8th, adding, "If the ship continues to sink, Hill becomes an asset that can be flipped into a draft pick." For now, there are two teams to watch. First, the Chiefs, for obvious reasons. Hill starred in Kansas City until his desire for more money and perhaps not to be in the shadow of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce sparked a trade. During his apology tour in advance of Super Bowl 59, Hill admitted on PFT Live that he sometimes regrets leaving the Chiefs, and the Chiefs could use him before and after Rashee Rice returns from his 6-game suspension. In the Miami's Week 1 loss, Hill was limited to 4 catches for just 40 yards. He battled nagging oblique and calf issues through training camp, but nothing has publicly appeared to seriously impede his health. Hill was sensational in 2023, piling up nearly 1,800 yards and 13 touchdowns. But he posted a quieter line in 2024, 81 catches for 959 yards and 6 scores. Miami's public stance on trading him hasn't dramatically shifted. Insiders like Adam Schefter have suggested Hill isn't on the trade block right now. Teams rarely sever ties with a superstar in September after one bad outing. Still, if Miami's offense continues to sputter, the organization may reevaluate as the season wears on. The salary cap complicates Kansas City's interest. Hill's 2025 cap hit is a heavy $27.7 million, and the 2026 figure balloons into the roughly $50 million range without a restructure. The Dolphins moved more guarantees into future seasons earlier this year, limiting present flexibility. The Chiefs sit 30th of 32 in available cap space with just under $2.1 million, so they'd have to undertake significant financial maneuvering to make such a deal feasible. That doesn't mean General Manager Brett Veach wouldn't at least explore a trade for Tyreek. A Tyreek Hill reunion would give the Chiefs a much-needed playmaker for Patrick Mahomes. From Kansas City's vantage point, the logic is clear. With Rashee Rice suspended for the first 6 games, Werke sidelined by a dislocated shoulder, and Hollywood Brown not providing Hill's home run speed, adding Tyreek restores a vertical weapon that forces defenses to respect the deep ball. Patrick Mahomes can elevate any talent, but a true downfield threat reshapes coverages. If contenders are willing to overpay for a difference maker, the Chiefs would be among the logical suitors. Is a reunion realistic right now? It remains unlikely. But in the NFL, a single bad stretch can alter plans quickly. Miami needs wins to justify keeping its superstar, and Kansas City needs added firepower to chase another Lombardi. If trends diverge, a return shouldn't be dismissed. Could the Chiefs reunite with Tyreek? One insider thought it possible, but a major complication exists. Rumors since last season suggested Miami might consider trading Hill. Although that chatter faded, it reignited this week after a new court filing from his estranged wife alleged domestic violence against the 8-time Pro Bowler. On Wednesday, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported the Dolphins have taken trade calls recently. He speculated one caller may have been Kansas City, calling the move a low-hanging fruit in light of Rashee Rice's suspension and Worthy's Week 1 shoulder injury. But there's a sticking point. Dolphins rejecting current Tyreek Hill trade calls. Fowler said the Dolphins have rebuffed inquiries so far. That stance could change. Hill has attracted unwanted attention over the past year, and this newest allegation compounds that scrutiny. He also drew notice for his sideline behavior during Miami's 33-8 loss to the Colts. Hill's epic run with the Chiefs concluded after the 2021 season when Kansas City declined to meet his contract demands. The team traded him in March 2022 for 5 draft picks. Miami signed him to a 4-year, $120 million deal and later tacked on 3 more years and $90 million prior to last season. His contract presents a large 2026 cap hit, about $51 million, though the deal can be voided in 2027.
But speculation aside, the biggest immediate question is the health of a young playmaker who's already become vital to the passing attack. The Kansas City Chiefs fell 27-21 to the Los Angeles Chargers in Week 1, and beyond the sting of the loss, they also saw rookie wideout Xavier Worthy exit early. Worthy collided with tight end Travis Kelce while attempting to create separation for Patrick Mahomes on the team's opening offensive series, and the impact forced him out of the contest with a shoulder problem. Because Worthy has become such an integral piece of the Chiefs' receiver room, particularly with Rashee Rice serving a 6-game suspension to start the campaign, observers have been closely monitoring any news about his recovery in the days following the game. On Wednesday, head coach Andy Reid provided a status report that should offer relief to the fanbase. Andy Reid gives Xavier Worthy health update. Selected at number 28 overall in the 2024 NFL Draft, Worthy's role expanded as the season progressed, largely out of necessity. With Rice sidelined and Marquise Brown also working through injuries, Kansas City leaned on Worthy to grow up quickly in the offense, and he answered by emerging as a legitimate primary option within their passing attack. Worthy's regular season totals included 59 receptions for 638 yards and 9 touchdowns, but he truly elevated his play when it mattered most. Across the Chiefs' 3 postseason games, Worthy hauled in 19 passes for 287 yards and 3 scores, highlighted by an exceptional Super Bowl LIX outing where he posted 8 catches for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns, arguably the lone bright note for Kansas City on that day. There was optimism that Worthy could carry that momentum forward into the new season, yet the abrupt shoulder injury threatened to derail those plans. Fortunately, Reid indicated the situation isn't expected to require surgery nor a placement on injured reserve, meaning the speedy receiver's layoff should be limited. Chiefs coach Andy Reid says wide receiver Xavier Worthy continues to rehab. He won't practice today. Surgery and a potential IR stint are not being considered at this time. Chiefs likely avoided a serious setback with Worthy's injury. Anytime a player leaves a game and cannot return, concern is warranted, but Worthy appears committed to returning as quickly as prudence allows. With surgery off the table for now, his prospects for a prompt comeback improve. Given that he did not take part in Wednesday's practice, it seems improbable he'll be available for Week 2, a costly absence as Kansas City prepares to face the Philadelphia Eagles. Still, the priority is preserving his health for the bulk of the season rather than forcing him back for a marquee matchup. Worthy's status merits daily tracking, and while a Sunday return seems unlikely, the organization does not anticipate an extended absence. And with injuries limiting their options, the search for outside help could soon lead Kansas City to an intriguing target from a recent Super Bowl rival. Kansas City's receiving depth was severely impacted by Xavier Worthy's injury in Week 1. And when you combine that loss with Rashee Rice's 6-game suspension to open the season, the team's wideout core looks decidedly thin. That shortage could prompt the Chiefs to explore trade avenues in the weeks ahead, and if Worthy's absence stretches into a longer recovery, pursuing external help would become more urgent. Bleacher Report columnist Christopher Knox has pointed to a notable trade candidate, naming San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Jauan Jennings as a plausible target for Kansas City. San Francisco reportedly reached an arrangement with Jennings to keep him content for the 2025 campaign, yet he is still set to hit free agency the following offseason. Depending on how the Niners situation unfolds through the mid-season stretch, that could make Jennings a candidate to move before the deadline. Like Worthy, Jennings appeared to suffer a shoulder issue in San Francisco's opener, but the injury doesn't appear to be significant. If he's only sidelined briefly, that keeps him as an attractive trade option. The 28-year-old enjoyed a breakout 2024 season, totaling 77 receptions for 975 yards and 6 touchdowns, after spending his earlier seasons in relative obscurity with the 49ers. At 6'3", Jennings presents a formidable red zone target for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, and his skill set would pair well with Marquise Brown and the still-present threat of Travis Kelce in Kansas City's offense. Of course, the Niners would only consider dealing Jennings if their title push falters before the November cutoff period. San Francisco opened with a win over Seattle and sits comfortably in a favorable NFC West, so it's possible Jennings remains with the club. Additionally, injuries plaguing the 49ers offense could deter them from parting with a recently productive receiver. Nevertheless, that likely won't prevent the Chiefs from making inquiries and gauging whether San Francisco would listen to offers. The Chiefs are clearly entering a fascinating crossroads, and fans will have plenty to say about it. When it comes to the wide receiver room, how would you feel about a blockbuster reunion with Tyreek Hill? Should the Chiefs push for it despite the contract and off-field complications? Or is that too big a gamble? And what about Xavier Worthy? Are you confident he can bounce back quickly and continue to be the dynamic weapon we saw in the postseason? Or do you worry this injury could slow his growth? Finally, if Kansas City explores outside help, do you think Juwan Jennings is the type of physical target Mahomes needs, or should the front office look elsewhere? I want to see the best options in the comments. Before you go, hit that like and subscribe button. Be part of our community and stay updated. Let's keep Chiefs strong together. Catch you in the next one.